ladies and gentlemen, I've got 7 o'clock. I call the June the 6th meeting to order. The first business is the pledge of allegiance led by Vice Mayor Patty Aiken.
Let us pledge.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt the June the 6th town board agenda. Does anybody have any corrections or additions they want to make to the agenda tonight? Being none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt as presented. Okay, second? All right, all in favor? Okay. The next item is the approval of the May 2nd and May the 16th town board minutes. Does anybody have any corrections or additions to the minutes? Okay. Have a motion and a second. All in favor? We have a public hearing scheduled for 7:05 for the proposed fiscal year of Town of Franklin budget. It's not quite 7:05 yet, so we have one person, Heather and Clark Ball, signed up for the public session. Any objection to the board to just going ahead and doing that right now? Okay. Mr. and Ms. Ball, you're up. And you know that on the public session, we're limited to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
We were told 6 to 8, but I will shorten it up for everyone, make sure it's not.
Well, if you were told that, yeah, I'll be okay with
One
it.
of them told the other.
I will make it go as quickly as possible. Not talk too fast.
Okay.
Okay. As I said, my name is Heather Ball. This is my husband, Clark. And we're here this evening to propose a public-private venture with the town of Franklin. 3 things that I feel like we need to point out right up front is this is something that will allow the town to maintain ownership of the property, which is an extremely valuable piece of land right downtown, while also eliminating the burden and responsibility of taking care of the property. So really, it's a win-win for the town of Franklin that we've come up with. So why the Whitmire property? We're proposing a mutually beneficial partnership with the town of Franklin in a public-private venture because we feel that our business concept would be a perfect fit for the Whitmire property and the town of Franklin. We've been working on the creation of a garden and outdoor education center when we were told about the Whitmire property and the fact that the town was starting to reconsider the future of the property. The timing was impeccable, and the layout and the vision for the center flowed effortlessly into the 12.71 acres. It also aligns well with many of the outdoor initiatives for Franklin and new possibilities for the Cherokee. In exchange for use of the property and temporarily acting as our fiduciary agent until we gain our own 501c3 status, we're offering to relieve the town of responsibility and associated strain on resources by maintaining and managing the property as a part of our partnership. This includes, but is not limited to, removing the debris of the original building, which, from my understanding, sitting in at the budget meeting, is a rather large expense for the town, as well as keeping it well groomed and adding to the beauty of Franklin. The income generated by the Outdoor Education and Adventure Center, we'll call it the center for short, will cover the cost of operation as well as the maintenance of the property rather than it coming from the town budget. As the business matures, it will go beyond merely maintaining the property, but also will eventually start to bring in an income for the town and for the business. Ecotourism is a large and ever-growing market. According to a 2015 ecotourism statistic report, a very high percentage of travelers prefer to stay with or do business with companies that give back to the local community and its environment. So what are the benefits to the town and to the business of using 15 First Street as an outdoor education and adventure center? Well, obviously the location, for one. Visitors can go from the center back and forth to town walking without even having to get in their car and drive. They can enjoy the local cuisine, the gift shops, the museums, potentially increasing business for the local business owners. It'll be extremely community oriented. This location provides both indoor and outdoor venues for school dances and events, weddings, reunions, and performances of all kinds. We will also provide education for our visitors and for the local residents. We're going to offer a variety of classes, both short and more intensive, all with an outdoor theme for many different skill levels to enjoy. So the outdoor education and garden center portion of this would be roughly in this location on the property. It's going to have raised beds that would be for rent, as well as on the other end of the property, a no-till drip row irrigation gardening where the food would be donated to local charities. Year-round gardening demonstrations using something called walopinis, which are in-ground greenhouses. There'd be permaculture, demonstrations of aquaponics, edible medicinals, hiking, all of that sort of thing. There will be small nature trail with labeled educational stops in the forested spot in the middle. Outdoor Education Center will have year-round classes offered on those variety of outdoor topics. And there's also going to be berry bushes, apple trees, edible mushroom growing for education as well as for revenue. The adventure park would be roughly on this portion of the property. It will include a pump track and possibly a skate park, but we have found, thanks to some of the local cyclists, that there are types of pump tracks that would be able to accommodate any form of skateboard, roller skating, bike, anything of that fashion without having to have two separate areas. There'll be a bouldering wall, which by having a bouldering wall versus top roping, it increases the safety and allows more people to use it with a much smaller staff. And then a dirt track for mountain biking, which we would like to see eventually hook up with the greenway, extending the amount of space that our local cyclists have to use, and walkers. And there's also the perfect spot for an outdoor amphitheater on the property. It's already a natural bowl. It would allow for outdoor theatrical performances in good weather, outdoor concerts, more possibility for weddings and family reunions, and really gatherings of all kinds, family picnics, small gatherings, would be able to just come and use that, or if they want something larger, they can rent the space out. And this here is our site plan. This is what we foresee the Whitmire property looking like once everything is put into place. So as you can kind of see, we've extended the parking just a little bit so that Franklin Tubular can still use the portion that they're using. It doesn't eliminate any of theirs. And we've extended the drive that you see from Highlands Road. It comes all the way around to the center, which was originally the home. We would rebuild, clean that up and rebuild a timber frame in that place for all of the classes, both that the center has as well as for rent. And that will continue on through the parking for safety reasons, as well as just keeping traffic moving through there with the limited parking. Here's all these. And this is all of the raised beds here and here that would be for rent. Some of them would be possibly sponsored by local businesses, and so they would be able to use the food that they're getting from their gardens, but the center would take care of that for them for a nominal fee. Here's the wooded area with the trails. There are already wild violets, wineberries, river cane. We would also then add persimmon and pawpaw, some native plants as part of our education. And then down here is that no drip irrigation that we talk about. All of this, or majority of this, would go to local charities, the schools, food for them at no cost whatsoever. This is that amphitheater, the natural bowl that's there. We would just add to that and make it easier to use, a little bit larger seating areas without changing that landscape too much. And here is the adventure park. Your bouldering wall, the pump track up here in the top corner, you see by the north compass there. And this would be the skate park if it were to be included. More likely than not, though, it would be just the pump track that would accommodate other things.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Now, does any of the board have any questions? You know, right now we're in very, very preliminary deciding anything at this point, so there's no decision to be made tonight.
Oh,
board have any questions? Good presentation. Very good. Thank you, ma'am. The next item is the public hearing for the proposed fiscal year 2016-2017 Town of Franklin budget. I will declare the public hearing open at 7:10. And there is one person signed up to speak, and that is Mrs. Moore, Angela Moore.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Firstly, I would like to thank the board members for speaking out against a 2-point tax increase at the budget work session. I know that the main objection there was that that was money that wasn't designated, that there wasn't a purpose for, but there is a bigger reason there. Had that 2-point increase gone through, it would represent a 20% increase in property taxes over the course of the last 3 years. If you remember last year there was a 1-point increase, in the previous year there was a 2-point increase, going from an original 25-point tax rate. So to increase that, from a 20-point tax rate to a 25-point tax rate. So that is a significant increase. I know that we had adjustments in there for the reevaluation, but those only represent just a couple of percentage points there. So please keep that in mind as you look towards the budget for next year, that we have raised taxes significantly. We've raised them about 12% in the last 2 years. But I am glad to see that we are not raising them this year. In fact, I think that we can do better. I think that there are a lot of ways that we could cut down on our budget that we currently have so that we could lower that tax rate back down, give some of that money back to people, back to the local businesses, so that we can improve the economy by not taking any more money out of it. One area in particular that I think we can see a lot of improvement in is currently the town funds a lot of tourism-related activities, namely the festivals. There's some money that's given to the Chamber of Commerce. There's Picking on the Square. There's tens of thousands of dollars, I think over $100,000 spent on that altogether. And while those are all great things that a lot of people enjoy, the burden really shouldn't rest on the town. I would love to see the board look at transitioning some of those expenses over to the TDA where they really belong. That money is for tourism, and I think that some of the private businesses, some of the vendors that show up at those events could bear some of the financial cost of that, and slowly but surely we could take a step back from that and leave that to the TDA and the private businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Does the board have any questions? Mrs. Moore. All right, there being none, no one else here to speak on the budget. I'll declare the public hearing duly closed. And we're now in session for new business. The first order of business is the board action on the proposed fiscal year Town of Franklin budget. Any discussion from the board?
I'd like to say again what a good job the staff did, making it understandable, really trying to get all the needs in the right places.
Well done. Okay. No further comment, no further questions. There being none, I'll call for a motion to approve the proposed budget as presented. Do I have a motion? Second. All in favor? Next item on the agenda is a street closing request for 80s flashback 8K race. Madam Manager, going to present this for us?
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Town Board. What you have before you tonight is a street closing request for the 80s flashback 8K race to close Stewart Street on Saturday, August the 6th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. And Mr. Dave Lynn is here tonight. I spoke with him. He has spoken to the business owners on Stewart Street, and they are okay with the street closing request.
Okay. All right. Any questions of Mr. Lynn or the manager? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close Stewart Street on Saturday, August the 6th, 2016, from 6 until 11 p.m. Second? All in favor?
Thank you.
The next item is to set a public hearing for the special use permit application for the indoor gun range. Pardon? I just decided we weren't going to have full move this year. But y'all caught me. Oh, I apologize. I'm saying taking the wrong place. All right, street closing request for folk move. Madam Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Town Board, what you have before you tonight is the street closing request for Folk Move. It will be held Thursday, July the 28th at 4 p.m. And what they're requesting is to allow the Franklin Police Department to hold traffic as they gather for a parade in front of Town Hall and march down to our gazebo. Probably hold traffic for 15 to 20 minutes.
And may I add that we have an estimated 275 performers from around the world coming to Franklin, and they will go down Main Street in the parade if it's approved, and then they'll go to the gazebo, and there'll be some acts at the gazebo, and then that night at the Smoke Mountain Performing Arts, there will be a performance there.
Let them come down the street. Make that motion.
Okay, that's your motion?
That's my motion.
All right, fellas, okay, is that second? All in favor? All right. Now, we're going to the public hearing for special use permit application for the indoor gun range. Madam Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Board, what you have before you tonight is to set a public hearing for the special use application for an indoor gun range. We're requesting to set a public hearing for Tuesday, July the 5th at 7:05 p.m. here in the Town Hall boardroom.
And while we're on the subject of a special use hearing, I, as always, going to give you the standard harangue about how this is a quasi-judicial function of the Board of Aldermen. That means it's something that you cannot go on your own and discuss with anybody else. You can't go investigate it on your own. You shouldn't discuss it outside of here. The decision has to be made entirely on the presentation here on that day.
Everybody clear on that? Okay. All right, I will entertain the motion to set the public hearing for the special use permit application for the indoor gun range for Tuesday, July the 5th at 7:05 p.m. Do I have a motion? Second. All in favor? The next is the public hearing for ETJ Boundary Edition. Madam Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Board, what you have before you tonight is the request to set a public hearing for the ETJ Boundary Edition. We're requesting to set a public hearing for Tuesday, July the 5th at 7:10 p.m.
Okay, any discussion from the board? Any questions from the board? All right, entertain a motion to set that public hearing at 7:10 p.m. on July 5th. Second? All in favor? Okay. Next item is a budget amendment. Finance Officer, Ms. Dawson, you're up. There you are.
Yes, this is a budget amendment to appropriate an insurance settlement check that we've gotten for the rescue truck, 1153, and this is to appropriate this back into their vehicle insurance fund.
Any questions of Ms. Dawson?
If we don't do it, what happens to the money? I'm just curious. I'm kind of curious as to why we have to have votes on something
Accounting.
Accounting purposes.
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Sunday considering an agenda. What's
Consent.
consent agenda? Yeah. Just lump all those into one, okay. The next item is proposed improvements to Memorial Park. Madam Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Board, what you have before you tonight, we've been working on Memorial Park. There's been quite a bit of improvement made at the basketball area, still working on that. We did want to move forward with a couple options. The first on your handout is to look at cypress mulch. We checked with our insurance company to see what options are available. We are allowed to do the rubberized matting or cypress mulch. So if it is the will of the board, we do have funding in this year's budget to allow us to pursue, for fiscal year 15-16, to pursue putting mulch around the playground equipment.
So we need a motion or any discussion. Mr. Collins, you're the recreation committee, and I'll tell you, that park is looking wonderful. I just want to tell you guys, I mean, it's just night and day what's happening there.
I thought we could use sand, apparently the insurance company. So we're getting stung a little bit on our rates because we don't have some protection.
Yes, sir.
And so cypress mulch is an approved mulch.
It is an approved mulch.
And we haven't yet decided whether it would be something that we would bid out or use in-house because we haven't got bids to compare or whatever.
Correct.
But don't we think, we're not real keen on the rubberized stuff, seems like. Is that correct? Okay. So we're moving towards, we're trying to get a bid from a contractor. We know, we feel like it's a job that could probably be done in-house, just depending on how it will be the best use of our dollar.
All right.
And then,
Yes, ma'am.
One question or one comment I have I'm fine with the cypress mulch, as long as it's not like we're going to throw it out there this year and leave it, because I've seen how it can over time get moldy and musty, and the kids are out there playing in it and they get respiratory issues and all this. So if we're going to put the money in, I'd like for us to also look at replacing that mulch every year.
sustain.
Yeah. Plus, we don't know what gets dropped in there, and then you have that laying in there for, I know I wouldn't want my kids playing in that over and over.
Okay.
But we also have the paving. And
And Vice Mayor Abel, what we could do each year in our upcoming budget, in our facilities property maintenance line item, we could put some funding in there to address those concerns. But yes, Alderman Collins, also what we have before the board tonight is a couple options on paving we've been looking at. In your proposal, you'll see some numbers that one is rather astonishing, if you will. It's been broken down, a couple things to look at. Of course, the town owes an obligation to Macon County, since they were kind enough, Soil and Water Conservation, to donate a rain garden to the town of Franklin for the Memorial Park Stream Restoration Project. In order to fulfill our obligation, we need to do some curb and guttering on our parking lot. This quote that you see before you has that broken down. It also has it broken down to do a 1.5 overlay for the parking lot, which would bring that total to $20,226. Now, the contractor also went ahead and kind of gave you what it would cost if the town wanted to build up the parking lot to have it to where there was absolutely no stream runoff or no runoff going into the stream, which you can see that's a rather staggering amount of $27,000, which brings your total up to $47,226. Administration, I believe our Recreation Committee wouldn't recommend going to that full extreme for the full $47,226, but it would behoove the board to at least maybe look at the $20,226 to withhold our obligation to the county.
And that's again a decision that we will need to make, see what budget, see where we're at. I'm not satisfied that it really, it's probably got some more life in the pavement now, but not a lot of years. And if there is money in the budget now, it may make sense while they're down there to go ahead and cap it off. But that'd be one of those things, we don't know what the cypress, different things, all coming together. But we're not going to recommend going more than the 20, we're not looking at $48,000. That would bust it in the budget, and it's unnecessary.
So if we could just get some direction from the board to approve us to pursue the cypress mulch and to approve the paving, that would be wonderful.
Do you want a vote on it, or you just want some direction on it?
A vote would be great.
Okay.
Well, they can't vote on whether we do the one and that, I think we just need the board to understand that we were given somewhat of a budget, and we're just reporting to the town kind of where we're at going towards that. But as far as making any decision, we don't have any bids on the cypress mulch to go with yet. And we don't know yet if we have the revenues on the paving end to go beyond the curb and gutter. I guess we do, but.
We do.
But is there any, I don't see how that gets put in the form of a motion as much as.
You don't have copies of this stuff in your file.
Yeah.
Have you looked at it?
I have one,
Is
but
this not the mulch review? Yeah. We've got to bid around mulch.
We think we could get a,
the rubberized, isn't it?
no, that's one for the
Wood
cypress,
fiber.
that's rather high.
Okay.
Can we approve it based on that it stays within the budget?
Yes, ma'am. If we could get some authorization, that would be great.
All right.
I make the motion that as long as it stays within the budget, that we go ahead with the cypress mulch and the guttering and paving. I mean, if we're down there guttering it anyways and we have the money in the budget, we might as well go ahead and do it the way I see it.
I'll second that.
Well, are you guys including the wedging, the 27? Okay.
No way.
No way to do it.
Alderman Nagle, if I could ask you to add to your motion, just that it's going to be on the condition that they accept our form of contract, because I haven't been through this, and there may be things we want to
And I think
insist upon.
there's a possibility with the mulch that we might be able to do that in-house. Correct. So,
So will you so amend your motion?
yes.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Good second. All in favor? All right, the next item is the Northern Department of Transportation has given us some aesthetic designs of the rock work we would like to have on the town bridge. It's under construction. Shortly will be. Madam Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Board, what you have before you in your packets are three options. NCDOT sent administration an email about 3 weeks ago requesting for the town board's recommendation on a couple facade and aesthetic design options for the proposal of the new town bridge that's being constructed in August of 2016. So you have option 1, option 2, and option 3. So if the board wants to have some discussion, and if we could just get some direction of what the board prefers, so we can take that recommendation back to NCDOT.
Kind of hard to make a decision on this.
They're all three very nice.
They're very nice. That's what I like to do. Does anybody like anything other than two? You like one or two? Okay.
Is any one of these options going to cost the town more?
No, sir. This is strictly would be paid by NCDOT, and all three are approved by NCDOT with no additional funding that would be expected from the town of Franklin.
If I may speak to option 2, something I really like option 2 about is it looks more like the rock work we have on the Blue Ridge Parkway and other mountain byways. The other one looks kind of, I don't know, it's
Like paving stones, it's artificial.
it does. But I don't hear any support for 3. Option 3.
2 looks good to me.
2? All right, let's say, all in favor of 1. All in favor of 2. All right, I think we got there. That's great. Thank you. You'll notify DOT.
Thank you very much.
Right. The other, one more, we have an appointment to the Alcohol Beverage Control Board. Madam Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Town Board, what you have before you tonight is an appointment to the Alcohol Beverage Control Board. The Alcohol Beverage Control Board has made a recommendation to the Town Board to recommend Ms. Carolyn Sissy Patilla to serve a term beginning June the 6th through August the 6th, June the 6th, 2016 through August the 6th of 2018.
Okay, any discussion from the board? I'll entertain a motion to appoint Mrs. Patullo. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, the update on the Great American Solar Eclipse. Madam Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Board, I thought that this was something that Mr. David Hubbs was very interested and was really great of him to bring to the town's attention last month. I thought this would be a great opportunity to do some different partnerships, something to look at, wanting to bring to the town's board attention. This would be a great opportunity to maybe look at working with our festivals and events consultant to look at doing a festival and event for the upcoming solar eclipse in fiscal year 2017, 2018. So if the board has any suggestions or input, please let us know. But just wanted to really commend Mr. Hubbs for bringing this to the town board's attention and see the different partnerships we could work out and maybe have some type of festival and event at our gazebo area.
I have a reliable source in this room that tells me that motel rooms are already being booked for this event.
Wow.
Yes. I said reliable source.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But it apparently is getting national attention, and Franklin is right in smack in the middle of it. So,
If we don't take advantage of it, we're going to wish we had. Then you may not get a second chance.
all right, I don't believe we need a vote on this. Just let's proceed
Put
with.
something together for the board.
Okay. All right. Well, I've wound up with everything on the agenda tonight. Let's go around the room. Has anybody got anything they want to add tonight? Discussion? Problems? Whatever? All right, being none, I have a couple of announcements. The Town of Franklin Employee Luncheon will be Friday, July the 1st, 12 o'clock, fast ladies. Town Hall offices will be closed Monday, July the 4th, in observance of Independence Day. The Town of Franklin will be hosting a July the 4th celebration downtown Monday, July the 4th, at 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Okay, there being no further business, I'll adjourn this meeting. Now, wait a minute, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Y'all got it all fouled up here. None of this happened until we had this eclipse. So, all right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second? All in favor of adjourning?
They've already adjourned.
I don't know what they're doing over there. Okay. Good meeting. Thanks, folks.
Not your record.